All right, so this is where we're going to stop talking about Parkinson's and and start talking about movies. So, let's get into it. This is going to be the Patreon exclusive. But you actually came up with this idea, holiday movies. Now define holiday movies because I'm kind of fast and loose with what is actually a holiday movie. Like if it's set at Christmas time around Thanksgiving or whatever, to me it's a holiday movie, even if it has nothing to do with Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, in general, I am pretty purist about my holiday tendencies, but I feel like, for example, a movie like Die Hard
Yes.
is a perfect example. I mean, that's not about Christmas in any way, shape, or form, but if it is a Christmas movie, it has to do with if it's set in Christmas, if it's associated with like when you watched it, when it came out, you know what I mean? Like anything, and to me, just like you'll see when we get into it. We blur the lines a little, but that's okay.
Thank you for admitting that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because that's you get in arguments with people just because it's not about Christmas doesn't mean there's certain movies that you just watch during the holidays and I've got a
Yeah.
couple of them in my list. But let's kind of volley back and forth. You give me you in no particular order. What's one of your favorite? And I've got a few TV show episodes in here. So give me one of your favorite Christmas movies slash TV shows slash holiday whatever.
Okay. Um, so I'm going to start off with one that I think is going to be some overlap, which is A Christmas Carol. Now, I am a purist on A Christmas Carol because that is a movie that I watched with my dad. And we watched the original British one with Alistair Sim. But the beauty of A Christmas Carol is it's such a timeless story and it's been retold generation after generation, kind of like A Star is Born, you know?
Yeah.
And the message is always the same, and it's such a great message, you know, to and actually I made some posts recently where I talk about like sometimes I feel like, you know, a Christmas past, you know, kind of the ghost of Christmas past, like rattling chains around and things like that is like a metaphor for a lot of different things. But I mean, the whole like Tiny Tim and all that, like um it's just a classic to me, and I do always tend to prefer the black and white. And since it's Charles Dickens, I do feel like we should be sticking with the original British version, but I don't know, you might have a different opinion.
I actually kind of leads me into my first pick, which is I actually love the British version, but the Albert Finney version, which was like 1970 something. I know the one you're talking about. It was kind of the original, and I think Dickens is such a great, I mean, such a great author, and there's so many different things you can pull out of that. You know what got the Albert Finney version? You know what I liked about that? It was scary as hell. And
Yeah.
I first saw it when I was like probably like 6 or 7, and now I look at it, it's like you know, Obi-Wan, Alec Guinness is Jacob Marley, and it's like it's kind of goofy. My son would probably think, who's 13, probably think it was stupid, but something about that, and I guess I love the musical aspect of it. There's a lot, I actually have it on vinyl, so that would be my favorite rendition of a Christmas Carol. But it's such a classic story. It's you can tell it in so many different ways.
And we have to give honorable mention and credit to, first of all, Scrooged,
Yes, Bill Murray.
which
Yep.
is another retelling, and frankly, the Muppets. The Muppets version is
Oh
also
yeah,
freaking adorable.
I had that on VHS at some point. All right, so next pick.
Trading places.
Oh, now see, I've not seen that as a whole movie, but I actually brushed up on some of the scenes. That's totally a Christmas movie. Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, totally
Yes.
a Christmas movie.
Billy Ray Valentine. Again, I love a Christmas movie with a message, you know? I feel like we don't have as many like message movies anymore, especially like live action and stuff like that. But the whole, you know, switching up roles, it was giving very Arthur, you know,
Yes.
kind of comedy. And I love early Eddie Murphy. Like he's just hilarious. And I had to point out Jamie Lee Curtis, forever stone cold fox in my book.
I didn't realize because I mean, basically you see her a lot like Freaky Friday and stuff, but she was a foxy lady back in the day.
Yes.
I mean, she still is, but you don't realize what a great body she had, just how pretty she was. Good call
Yeah.
there. I love pretty ladies.
Yeah,
I
she
love
was
me the
that.
pretty ladies.
She was like the body back in the day, and we love her for that.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a different one at you here. It's comedy as well. It's the first episode ever of The Simpsons. It's called Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. And I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah, basically Homer goes to the dog track and loses all his money, and so they bring a little dog home. They call him Santa's little helper. I watch that every year. It's just it's before The Simpsons. It was actually honestly before they got popular. Because it was the first episode. Homer's voice is different, and the animation's kind of crude. But just the way that he still dreads his sister-in-laws. It's just I love it. It's very heartwarming.
Yes, and thank you for recommending that one because I went back and watched it. And first of all, me and my kids have been watching Simpsons like forever. And I
Yeah.
mean, that show is such a part of our lives. Like I've been watching it, I feel like my entire life too. And I think a lot of people forget that it started as a spinoff from the Tracy Ullman show.
Yes. So,
And the animation actually predated that. There was a comic strip that was called, I believe it was called Life in Hell,
yeah.
and it came out of that. And it over the years changed so much. I mean, still think it's hilarious, but I had not realized that Santa's Little Helper episode was the first episode ever, and it's so good. You know,
It kind of
rewatched it. It
reminds me of
was
my little
hilarious.
dog Bubbles, the one that ran in frame here a minute ago. We adopted her from the Humane Society. She was a stray rescue. Somebody dumped her out in the cold in a blizzard, and she was real skinny. She had mange.
Mhm.
And this was last January or February where we picked her up, and it's like so she kind of reminds me of Santa's Little Helper, but I just love the innocence of that first Simpsons because I mean honestly
Yeah.
it gets more political satire which I love as well,
Yes.
but there's
Yeah.
something about that first one that's just so innocent and just it feels like it's a real family even though it's like badly drawn cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, hit me
I
up on your
think,
next one.
all right, let me see here.
I got to
Oh,
check my list by the
okay.
way.
All right. Here's another one that's probably going to be off the radar, but Gremlins. Yes, and that opening scene where he's looking at it's, ultimately the dad was looking for a present, a Christmas present for his son,
It
right?
gets it gets the worst one possible.
And he gets the worst possible. But I'll tell you a funny story about Gremlins. Like, I have been trying to get my kids to love that movie their entire childhood, and they have always been scared of it. They see Gremlins as a horror film. And when I rewatched it with them when they were little, like, I see that. I don't know, like, why, if it was because we had a different relationship to puppetry back then.
That could
Because
be.
but yeah, they never got it because to me that too is like a feel good Christmas movie. But then when you rewatch it, you realize like those are for sure like the worst Christmas presents ever.
Same thing with me. My kid won't watch it. The part where they put him in the microwave. I mean,
Yes.
like, actually, you think about it, it's pretty jacked up. But I mean, at the time,
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to watch that movie when I was a kid. So I watched it as an adult. And as an adult, I'm like, wow, this is close to pretty much a horror movie.
Yeah.
But it's like a horror Christmas movie, which is the best kind of Christmas movies.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna go with an old staple here. This is on everybody's list. I try not to pick ones that everybody do, but everybody picks. Everybody do. uh, National Lampoon's Family Vacation. If there's a movie that crystallizes the experience of a father during the holidays, it would be that. I mean, my dad we'd always pick out trees and they were way too big, and he'd have to chop them down. When we got home, like they were always too big. We drove the station wagon. He would get aggro and like try to like race people in the station. Same stupid crap that Chevy Chase was doing, except he didn't go to the lingerie counter and flirt with a lady. That 3 minute scene might be some of the fun. I laugh every time I see it. Somehow, every dad and maybe probably mothers who can relate to short circuiting during the holidays. I love that. I love that line where his dad goes, Jack Daniels helped me through the holidays. There's like, I totally agree because yeah,
Yeah, I love that movie and just kind of all of the different characters of the family.
cousin Eddie,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, like
shitter was full.
and the kids and the neighbors, I mean, yeah,
Julie Louis Dreyfus,
yes,
the
and
neighbor.
I think there's something very lovable about that Chevy Chase character and characters in general, where it's like you feel like they can just never catch a break, And it's his frustration is like everyone's frustration at the
Well,
holidays, and his wife.
she calls him Sparky. Sparky, you get too excited. Well, my wife says like when he remember he gets the chainsaw and he cuts off the top of the banister. My wife's like, you would do that. I'm like, I would not do. She's like, oh my God, you get mad and you act all calm and you do something completely irrational. And here's the funny thing. I actually have an uncle that would remind you of Cousin Eddie. I mean, he's even got the kind of weird hair and he's just like got the weird voice and it's like it's funny because when I watch that movie, I think of my uncle. I'm not going to say what his name is, but I have actually told his kids, my cousins, they go, "Oh yeah, we call him that all the time." So it's like the people and you can relate to the family members. Like there's like the horny old grandpa, it's like all that stuff that they remind you of something familiar, which is why I love him so much.
Yeah. And it's just such a slice of Americana. I mean, I the Christmas lights on the house and things like that, they almost became tropes in like so many movies after that. But it's because it's true. Like every year when I when I get I need to do it. I'm getting ready to do it again too. But like when I get that balled up white wires of my Christmas lights, and every year I'm like, I'm gonna put them together like in an organized way. And then after Christmas is over, I'm just like back
Yep.
to the bed.
They're even the Simpsons episode. Remember, he's trying to undo the ball lights, but yeah, it's funny. Okay, what? You got another pick?
Yes. Elf.
Oh my God. Yes, 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 yes.
Elf is, I feel like Elf is like more than a Christmas movie to me at this point, though. I feel like it's a movie for like me to continuously use to cheer myself up throughout the year.
Well, I use memes of that movie all the time.
Yeah, my favorite one is like, there's so many, but like, probably the gift that I use the most is like, he sits on a throne of lies,
Yep.
but just the innocence,
Well,
like,
you know the line that always gets me whenever I burp real loud, I'll be like, "Did you hear that?" My son was like he always like, "Dad, I'm tired of that joke. Did you hear that?" Well, Will Ferrell and John Favreau, the director, did not get along during the
really,
movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, they don't like each other,
Hmm,
which you
that's
can't
weird.
tell because it's kind of. I mean, my kid's on the spectrum, and I think there's something a little bit maybe on the spectrum with Buddy the Elf, which makes me love him even more because autistic kids, there's all a wide variety of different autistic, I guess, types. My son is definitely more on the verbal side, but when he's running around with that girl and they're playing that Frank Sinatra song, "You Make Me Feel So Young." I said,
Mhm.
son, this is the Buddy Elf song, and I look at him. So yeah, there's a heartwarming little moments that I think can mean more to somebody with an autistic kid, maybe.
Yeah, I
All right,
can
I'm,
see
I'm gonna
that.
go. I'm gonna go with the classic. Nobody can argue with this. If you argue with this, there's something wrong with you. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Agreed. I
That was
love
my
that.
number one favorite when I was a kid. Remember, we have to sit and wait for it to come on. There was no streaming, no DVDs.
Yes, yes. And then they would sometimes like put it with the Frosty the Snowman
Yes,
as like
help them up.
like a back to back.
Now there's deleted scenes from Rudolph that on the DVD. Like there's this, and there's a reason they're deleted. They're pretty crappy scenes. But yeah, I remember getting the DVD and seeing there's whole new scenes because they cut it for TV.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, there's this scene where Santa Claus is being a real butthole, all the elves, and they're singing, and he's like basically bore me, and yeah, and it's weird. I mean, the guy that's like, "You'll never be," that guy. He's got a completely different voice in the scene. Yeah, it's like a cut scene that didn't finish. So yeah, look up. It's on the DVD, or you could probably find it on YouTube.
I'm actually tempted to like buy some DVDs again. I've been going to Savers a lot and they have so many of them.
Yep.
And it never ceases to amaze me. I need to start a list because like I will like really want to stream something and then I can't find it, you know?
Now
And
you know I
it's
have a huge video library because I want the
yeah.
shit that when I want to watch it, I want to say I want to grab it, go down. You've seen my Blockbuster. It's
Yeah.
amazing. All right, do you got any more?
All right, this is my last one, but it is forever how I end um Christmas. Like it's the last movie that I watch before Christmas, like on Christmas night, you know.
Can't wait to hear what this is.
Um, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that yeah, that that movie kind of wore me out for a while, but I'm coming back around to it because it's just so damn good.
I mean, again,
Oh,
like
Mr. Potter, Mr. Potter. That is my Jimmy Stewart. It's terrible. I know.
and it's funny because Jimmy Stewart always had this way of having those moments in movies where he like came to this epiphany and did a powerful monologue that was kind of his thing. And when it actually in this one when he's like at the end when he breaks down and finds Zuzu's pedals in his in
Yes.
his pocket and stuff like um it just always really reinvigorates me for the meaning of the holidays and things like that, you know?
Well, I remember watching it the first time. I was probably 11 or 12. I remember laying on the floor, and my parents had those glass TVs, the big glass ones with the knobs. You had to get up and turn the
Hmm.
channel. And we just got cable, and I think it was on PBS or something. I remember just when the little like the voices are talking and the stars.
Hmm.
And I remember this is kind of weird. This is kind of weird. I sat there and watched the whole damn thing and didn't even get up. It was amazing. And then you see it so many times that you kind of like get burnt out on it. But there's a like you said, there's a meaning there. It's very inspiring when you think about it. When it's like it's kind of I guess you could tie it back to Parkinson's if you wanted to. Like we have so much to be thankful for, and our families, and just the fact that we can be with our families and our loved ones. Um, that our life does mean something. That we do have a purpose. That we would be missed if we're gone.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened to me because it became so much like literally on loop
Yeah.
on some channels around the holidays, and I just kind of blew it off. And then a couple years ago, I sat down and I rewatched it, and I mean, that movie is dark. I mean,
Yes. I mean, there's suicide. Yeah. It's really dark.
it's dark, and so once I always say with Parkinson's changes your perspective on things.
Yes.
And so I think rewatching it post-diagnosis, a lot of movies like hit different now. And going back to Jimmy Stewart, like when I was getting ready to go to Washington, D.C. to Capitol Hill to advocate for Parkinson's, I just kept having that scene from I don't know if you've ever watched that movie, Mr. Smith Goes to
Yes.
Washington.
I was thinking of that when you said giving like speeches.
I was like thinking about that and I rewatched it and I wanted to make a video so bad using it. But again, Facebook won't let me
Hmm.
put anything
Yeah.
out there because of copyrights. But I mean, that was how I thought about it in my mind, like how older movies had those very intentional, inspiring moments. And I watched a movie recently. I don't know if you've seen it. Like To Fight Another Day or something like that. It was like the new Leonardo DiCaprio film, and it was filmed here in El Paso, and so everybody was excited to go see it. When that movie was over, and this happens to me all the time now, I'm literally like, what was that about?
You too.
Exactly. Like there's some time that I did not have to lose that I will never get back again that I
Yeah.
paid money for. Yeah. And I find that happens to me more and more. And then what's so crazy is then you'll go home and you'll look it up and it's like, this was the greatest movie. I'm like, did we even watch the same movie? Like, I don't understand what's
You
going
know what?
on.
That's
Like,
that's why I like my video collection because I'm not saying I mean I watch a lot of movies, new movies too, but I like to know whether what's going to be good or not. I mean, obviously I've seen some movies like 5 million times, but we bought An Officer and the Gentleman. We watched that about a year ago. I
mhm.
would love to see that movie again. Um, The English Patient. Watched that movie last Christmas. I'll probably get it out again. Um, and I want to own it, and I want to be able to something familiar. It's like there's something. It's like I tell my wife, it's like she's like, "Why do you like watching the same movies over and over?" It's like because it's like a good song. It just takes two
Yeah.
hours instead of 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got an honorable mention here. This one goes out to my good buddy Tom Rio. I think he messaged you. Now I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm gonna do an audible here. What his favorite Christmas movie is? Miracle on 34th Street, the old one. What was it? That Burl Ives. I can't think.
Hmm.
Yeah, in 1947. And
Yes.
the scene that sticks in my mind forever, which is kind of an inspiring scene, even though it's completely made up, is when they're bringing the mailbags in,
Hmm.
and it's like, and I figured you could appreciate this because your parents were older, and so you probably got exposed to a lot of older movies. I got exposed to older movies because my parents were afraid to watch anything made after 1959. But I mean, I actually kind of appreciate that now because I got a love for some old movies. But yeah, Tom Rio, that was his favorite pick, and I got to tell you, I watched that numerous times when I was a kid. I love the fact that this guy was Santa Claus and nobody would believe him. It's just very heartwarming movie.
Yeah, and I saw that comment that he made. And I had to again like throw in like young Natalie Wood, you
Yes,
know.
that's what I was thinking of.
Um, Such a great actress, you know. And I don't know if you're into like true crime stuff.
Oh yeah, watch that thing with the yeah where the boat, the drowning.
Yeah, but
Kind of weird.
like that's one of those kind of Hollywood
Robert
things
Wagner.
that I also like am kind of I used to be more into true crime podcasts, especially like when podcasts first started.
Yeah.
I've ended I actually had to like stop listening to them because like I was just solving crimes in my head all the
You're like, what's the neighbor doing? What's he putting in the trash
time.
can? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that episode of The Simpsons where he thinks Flanders kills Maud, and it turns out like spoiler alert, he killed one of her house plants and like he buried it in the back. So it was so stupid, but yeah, overblowing things. You know, and here I'll end on this. Is Uncle Buck a Christmas movie?
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones that we get out every year, and it doesn't necessarily. It's not about Christmas per se, but it's set during the holidays, and I just love the characters. And we've talked about that movie, I think, on our last visit. So yeah, and anything with John Candy's amazing. Planes, trains, and automobiles. That can almost be a Christmas movie as well. All right, Esther, it's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Anything else you'd like to say before we shut it down?
That's it. Happy holidays.